All right, let's talk about the 7 signs he's emotionally available. Obviously, the thing that we all love the most in a partner is like they are emotionally available. So let's set the scene. You've been dating around, dealing with guy after guy who just can't seem to really open up. He dodges serious conversations, keeps everything kind of on the surface level, doesn't really want to go deeper, and has the emotional range of like a teaspoon. This sounds like familiar? Probably, right? We've all experienced this. But then one day, you meet someone different, and he listens, and he engages, and he's present. It feels so refreshing, but also a little foreign. Like, wait, is this what it's really supposed to feel like? Is this true? Can this be real? So today, we want to dive into 7 signs that really show if someone is emotionally available. The traits that show he's not just ready for a relationship, but he's ready to meet you where you are emotionally. So let's break it down. The first one, he communicates very openly and honestly. Here's the thing about emotionally available men. They don't play guessing games. When they're upset, they tell you. When they're happy, they'll share it. When there's something on their mind, you won't have to figure it out, trying to pull it out of them. They're just gonna tell you. If he's had a rough day at work, he'll say like, hey, I'm feeling really stressed right now. I don't really have the capacity. Instead, I just need some time to decompress. He's not gonna shut down or snapping at you or becoming angry. This type of communication really shows emotional maturity because he's not just identifying his feelings and emotions, he's expressing them in a way that builds connection and that also allows you to see where he's at without things getting out of hand. Emotionally available men value clarity over confusion. They know that open communication is the foundation of trust, and they're not afraid to have those deeper conversations that keep the relationship really healthy and that keep the connection and the bond actually stronger or make it even stronger. The second sign is he's comfortable with vulnerability. Let's be real. Vulnerability can be scary, right? But an emotionally available man understands that it's also necessary. He's willing to let you see the parts of himself that aren't perfect, whether that's admitting a fear, sharing a failure, or opening up, about his past. For example, maybe he tells you about a time he got his heart broken, or a challenge he's facing at work, or did face at work. These aren't just stories that he's just throwing in there here and there. They're moments where he's letting his guards down and inviting you into his inner world. And here's why this matters. Vulnerability really creates intimacy. When he's willing to be real with you, it shows that he trusts you and he values the emotional connection you're building together. Now, here's the caveat to this. If you take that vulnerability and use it against him, you lose him. He's never going to open up to you again because you literally weaponized his honesty and vulnerability. Ladies, stop chasing man. Even when he pulls back or loses interest, or you feel like he's slipping away from you, what you do in that moment can make all the difference between him feeling like you just like all the other women he's ever met, or it can make him realize and feel you're so unique and special, and exactly the type of woman he wants something real with, something he wants to build with, causing him to chase you, to invest in you, and prove to you that he is the right man for you. There's this 12-word text message that you can send to a man that gets his attention almost immediately and makes him realize that it was a mistake to pull away from you in the first place. If you want to find out what that 12-word text message is, then I highly recommend you check out this brand new video that I created for you. I linked it in the description below. Just click the link, and now let's go back to the video. The third point, he respects your feelings and boundaries. Now this is a really, really big one. It shouldn't be, but unfortunately it is. An emotionally available man doesn't just care about his own feelings, he cares about your feelings too. He listens when you express a concern, validates your emotions, and respects the boundaries that you set because he has his own boundaries and he understands the importance of having boundaries and respecting each other. So for instance, if you say, I need some time to think about this before I can properly respond, he doesn't push you or guilt you and I need a response right now. Instead, he honors your request because he understands that a healthy relationship is about mutual respect, not control. Respecting boundaries isn't just about avoiding conflict. It's often the opposite. It's about showing that he values your autonomy and emotional well-being. And trust me, that's the kind of energy you want in a partner. We both want this from each other. Otherwise, like, what kind of relationship are we actually building here, right? The fourth point, he invests in emotional intimacy, not just physical intimacy. Emotional intimacy doesn't happen by accident. It takes effort, it takes a lot of communication, and it takes a lot of emotional intelligence. And an emotionally available man knows this, and he actively works to deepen the connection with you. Maybe he asks you thoughtful questions about your childhood, or your dreams, or your fears. Or maybe he shares his own experiences in a way that invites you to do the same. These moments aren't just conversations. They're building blocks for, a stronger, more meaningful relationship. And when he invests in emotional intimacy, he's saying, I'm here, I'm present, and I'm committed to getting to know you on a deeper level. And let's be honest, that's what we're all looking for. That's what we're all craving. That's what we're all desiring. At least if we want a deep, meaningful relationship, right? The fifth point, he handles conflict with maturity. Here's the harsh truth. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship, but the way someone handles it tells you everything you need to know about their emotional availability. And an emotionally available man doesn't run away from disagreements or turn them into like shouting matches, No, actually he leans into it. He approaches conflict with calm, with a solution-focused mindset, with presence. If you bring up something that's been bothering you, he doesn't dismiss your feelings or get defensive. Not at all. He's not going to brush it away at all. No, instead, he's going to say something like, I hear you, I understand. Let's figure this out together. This approach shows that he values the relationship more than his ego, which is a major green flag in this case, right? The sixth point I want to mention is he's very consistent in his actions. So let's talk about consistency. An emotionally available man doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. He shows up for you, follows through with his promises, and makes you feel secure in the relationship. For instance, if he says, I'll call you tomorrow, you don't have to wonder if he actually will. If he commits to a plan, he doesn't bail last minute. Because the things that he promises are important to him. This consistency builds trust because it shows that he's reliable and dependable. Consistency isn't about perfection, not at all. It's about effort. And when someone puts in consistent effort, it's a clear sign that they're emotionally invested in you and they really want to build something serious here. The seventh point, he wants to build a future with you. Finally, let's talk about the big future. This is the thing that we all don't know. An emotionally available man, though, isn't afraid to include you in his long-term plans. Whether that's discussing where the relationship is heading, planning a trip together, or simply talking about his goals and his dreams and how that aligns with your goals and your dream. And when he talks about the future, he uses words like we instead of I. He's not just thinking about what he wants. He's thinking about how do the two of us fit together in this picture to make it beautiful. This isn't about rushing into commitment. It's about showing that he sees a future with you and he's willing to work towards it together. And honestly, isn't that what we all want? Okay, let's come to the conclusion about these 7 signs that you actually found an emotionally available man, or maybe the opposite if those 7 signs don't show up at all. If you're seeing these traits in your partner, congratulations, you found someone who's not just ready for a relationship, but who's ready to build something real and meaningful with you. And that's so beautiful. Just remember, emotional availability is a two-way street. It's about creating a partnership where both of you feel seen, heard, and supported, and championed, So yeah, with all that said, as always, if you liked the video, like it, comment. Would love to hear your experience. Do you have a man currently where you find a lot of these signs and these traits of, someone who's emotionally available? Or is it more the opposite? Then you can also ask yourself, okay, why am I having that type of man in my life right now? Am I emotionally available? Or am I also not really emotionally available here? And we're basically having 2 unemotional people and they're trying to make something work, which clearly is quite challenging if there's a desire for something more meaningful. As always, please subscribe to this channel. We're posting 4 times a week, so quite a fair bit. And we want to do more of it. So therefore, every like, every comment, every subscription, every follower helps so much. So with all that said, have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for your time of watching this video and gifting me your time and presence. And I'm looking forward to more.